Hello everyone, Karen Cecilia here. I want to thank you all so very much for subscribing and for listening and for tuning in. And for those of you who have not yet subscribed, please do so. We almost reached 22,000. Damn, I can't believe that. YouTubing, only 22,000 people. That is great. God is good. But thank you all for that. And for those who have not yet subscribed, do so. And let us reach that 22, okay? Thank you all. I hope you're having a great day. Whatever time of day you'll get to listen to this. And God will continue to bless you and provide for you and your family. So I want to just briefly say some things about that whole recording with Steve McGregor and the infamous Mr. Lawrence Rowe. And I'm kind of flabbergasted by the whole thing because Lawrence Rowe had, when the whole thing started, was threatening to put out all kinds of things. And we have not seen any of those things yet. That doesn't mean that he doesn't have them. And I do believe that he might have some things, but the question would be, are they as damaging as we are all led to believe? And he's such a devious character that he would keep them, and whenever the time is right, that's when he's going to drop them to upend just about anything that he chooses to upend. That is MO. But listening to this voice recording between him and Steve McGregor is not surprising to me, but it is still a little bit surprising. Why is it surprising? It is surprising. Now let's go back a little bit. I told you about Lawrence Rowe. I told you that these guys, Mark and Dayton and Angela and Bunting, hired Lawrence. For a long time they have been using him. Long time they have been using him. And they hired him to do espionage work, underhanded work, things that would help them to destabilize the PMP, that would make it easier for them to take it over. Things that would make it easier for them to get rid of people, because that is their thing, to get rid of people, not to bring anybody together, not to multiply, not to add, but to get rid of people and divide people and going on with all kind of crap. So that's what they hired him to do. When they hired him, they knew certain things about him and certain skills that he possessed. What they did not know was the extent of those skills. What they did not know was how far he is prepared to go to get what he wants and who he's prepared to bring down to get what he wants. Did it to Imani Duncan, did it to Crystal. Him tried to do it to me by looking for the JPs that signed those statements from those two young ladies who have accused Dayton Campbell of sexually abusing them when they were underage. He was driving up and down looking for the JPs and going out with all kind of antics, and So the extent of his skills was not totally known to them. They hired him because they know what they know and what he's willing to do to achieve that ambition that he has, that burning ambition he has had for a while now, destabilizing the entire central Kingston to enhance that ambition. And having done all of that, because Lawrence don't know about sabotage and treachery and betrayal, and don't know that if you are going to engage in that, your life will be that always, because you will always try to one-up somebody, and at some point somebody's going to knock you off your feet, one way or another. Either the people who hired you, or the people you have worked for voluntarily, or the things you have done and the people you are acquainted with. Either them going to try to knock you down, or somebody else will, because that is the life that you build. Remember, all of us parents told us, whatever you reap, that is what you're going to sow. That is what the parents used to tell us. You reap what you sow. So if you lie with dogs, you're going to get up with fleas. And if you're hanging out with fish, you're going to get up with all kind of bite over your body. But I mean, well, I don't know if that is true, but I'm saying that. So that is who he is. Having done all that he has done, they still do not understand who they're dealing with. And they still don't know the extent of what he has on them. Now, personally, being the only blogger that I've not spoken to Lawrence, I don't know what he has. I would like to think, and based on what I know of him, I have known Lawrence for a very, very long time. I know how devious he is. I have never been in his space to say that, well, I'm going to be careful how I talk to Lawrence, because I'm not careful how I talk to anybody. If I'm talking to somebody on the phone or talking to somebody in person, I am not careful. I'm saying what I have to say. There's no careful, because truth cannot be organized. And truth and integrity, you can't organize it around something and say, let me say, I can frame my words a particular way. You can't, that is too tiresome for me. I can't bother. I just can't be bothered. So if you ask me something, I'm going to give you my honest opinion and my honest answer about it. And if you want, record it. That's your business. I have nothing to hide, and that's true. So I don't care about those things. But Lawrence cares about those things. And when I told you that they hired this man who they know nothing about, I meant it. Because they still don't know anything about Lawrence Rowe. And I'm going to keep saying it until they start looking for whatever it is that they need to look for and where they need to look for it. Because they don't know anything about him. Having not known anything about him, they hired him because they have local skills, and they set him out to do some things. And the people who he did some things about, like Imani, they came on the stage and she celebrated, and she helped them to publicly lynch him, and they thrashed him, and they humiliated him, and I mean, them go out all kind of things to get them little revenge, which might turn out to be not such a good thing for them if he does have the things that we suspect that he might have some things. But then now, Steve McGregor, do not believe in Steve McGregor, him decided that him going to have a conversation with Lawrence. And he did say it earlier, that him going to have a conversation with Lawrence. And I never take it as anything. I not knowing much about Steve McGregor, and I'm working on that. I'm digging. I'm going deep to find out all I can about Steve McGregor. I've gone far. And we found out some things. We're ready yet to talk about some things, but we're looking into him. Me personally, I want to go into his psychological behavior, his behavior over the years. Not so much what he has done, but I also want to figure out how he thinks and what exactly makes him think, which is the best thing to think, to have about people. So I'm trying to figure him out. And they're not where they belong, but I'm trying to figure him out. But he said this, that he wants to talk to Lawrence. And when he said it, I don't know, some people might have taken it to be that he want to reach out to Lawrence, and he want to be unifying, and he want to bring in Lawrence, and he want to be forgiving, and he want to have a conversation with Lawrence, and he want them to be together. I don't know if that can happen based on the angst between Lawrence and the people of Central Kingston who have now gathered around do not believe in Steve. So having said that, some people could say that that is what he meant. I personally don't believe that that is what he meant. Having known nothing about him, I could be wrong. All right? Now, so he said it. And so now he decided to have a conversation with Lawrence. So let's go back a bit, just a little teeny bit for 1 second, 1 minute. Them don't know nothing about him. Them don't know what he's really, really, truly capable of. And them don't know what he has. So when I said that, I did not give you an example of what is it I'm talking about. So here it is. I'm going to give you an example now of what I'm talking about, so you can understand when I say that they don't know anything about Lawrence Rowe, I mean they don't know anything about Lawrence Rowe. Lawrence Rowe, when they gave him the seat, when they named him as a candidate, and the pedophile lashes she get out and say, them have them 63 candidates in place, and them ready, and them for just call election now, him lava riff-raff mouth, him could nasty wheelie mouth, him just love chat. He was out there doing all of that. The moment that they named Lawrence, the backlash started, and people began to go to them and talk to them and say, how do this and this. That little group in Central Kingston was also very, very vocal behind the scenes. It wasn't loud in public yet at the time, but they were saying, not gonna be him, we're not gonna support him, we're not gonna do this and Ray. So the pedophile Lashim, his general secretary now, starts saying to people one-on-one, like he would say to one person, don't worry man, not gonna be him man. May I tell you that between me and you. So him go to one person and say between me and you. Then him go to another person, may I tell you this, you alone, may I tell this. And then go to our next person and say, relax no man, between me and you, may I tell you this. You're the only person, may I tell you this. And he went on and on, maybe about 4 or 5 people, and it went out of hand. And of course it would. What else do you expect? Of course it would get out of hand. Of course other people going to hear that there's no such thing as between me and you and one. And me going to tell you this, I don't want you to repeat it. The only two people I know in this whole fracas of social media and the political landscape right now who somebody can say something to and say, don't repeat it, and them don't repeat it, is me and Michelle. That's the only two people I know. Because Michelle would say, I spoke to so-and-so this morning, and boy, I'm telling me something, and he said not to repeat it. I said, well, don't, and we move on. And I don't even tell her when I speak to somebody and them tell me that don't repeat it. She accuse me all the while of being secretive. All of them accuse me all the while of being secretive. Because they would know that I hear that I spoke to this or me know that person. But I'm not even telling that because the person said don't repeat it. Me never need to tell you that me talk to the person. Can them say don't repeat what I said. Me not repeat it if you tell me that. And people know that. That's why people talk to me. They know that if them say don't repeat that. Ever. And that way to do it. So they're the only person I know that don't do that. But him went on a thing and he did that and the whole thing went out of hand. And there it was. Lawrence started to hear the grumbling. And when Lawrence heard it, that's when things got a little testy. Because from the moment that Lawrence heard that they were saying that he's not going to be the candidate, and at that time it wasn't publicly known yet. He was named, and that was it. Everybody accepted it, the media, the wider country, except that the thing was brewing underneath in central Kingston. And they knew, Dayton Campbell, Mark Golding, Angela Brownberg, Peter Bunting, they all knew that he was not going to be the candidate. They all knew. So they wanted to put some minds at ease, which is why they went out telling some people behind the scenes, don't worry. And we saw, some things were put in place and he's not going to be the candidate. Having heard that, they did not know that every conversation from then on going forward, not just the letter and whatever conversations they were having with Lawrence Rowe about him not being the candidate, it never started from there, sir. It's from the beginning after they named him and start the grumblings and the whispering campaign about him not being the candidate. From that day forward, Lawrence Rowe records every conversation he has with pretty much everybody. But you never know who you're dealing with. You had no idea who you was dealing with. You never know what he was capable of. He does what we call contemporaneous notes. That if he never have a recording, he would go away and he would write down things and walk around with this little bag where him have things. As I said, I don't know the things that he had to the extent of what damage those things could do. And if he does, and it could be damaging, he's going to do it timely. Which brings us to this recording that he released, this conversation that he released between him and Do Not Believe in Steve. Him record Steve talking. And because Steve never know, or they never told him, or I don't know, it is hard for me to look at a senior policeman. Because once a policeman, I was a policeman. You might not be active, but you're still a senior policeman. It's hard for me to look at a senior policeman who rose through the ranks and become superintendent of something of that kind, that don't understand human behavior in certain circumstances. It would be hard for me to... That's why it's so difficult for me to sit down and have a conversation with any policeman, because I don't believe they have the training and understanding of the human behavior. They don't. They have very limited training of human behavior. And they tend to look for particular things and not look at the whole. So if Do Not Believe Steve McGregor really had the training of human behavior, he would have known by himself, without anybody having to tell him, that should you be having a conversation with Lawrence Rowe, he's going to be recording you. Somebody should have told him, but if nobody told him, he should have known he's a senior police officer. I don't know if they don't teach them these things in the police force. That human interaction comes at various levels. And there's not just one level until you're looking for a criminal. There's a team say, hey, and I lie, the boy, I tell. You don't have the wider knowledge of the human behavior. So you're not prepared you're just prepared for one set of things, you're not prepared for anything. And that is how it goes. So therefore, they did not know. And having not known, Do Not Believe in Steve McGregor went and have a conversation with Lawrence Rowe. Now, the recording itself is not that great a deal or big a deal in my mind, to me. Mr. McGregor said just about everything that he wanted to say, and I don't disagree with him on anything that he said. He's actually right about what he said. He's actually very, very right about all the things that he said. The only thing that is wrong with this is the recording that Lawrence recorded him. That's the only thing that is wrong with this. And everybody know how I feel about people recording people's conversation. You have a conversation with somebody, you must have a decency to say to the person, listen, I want to record you, can I? But you can't do it because you're devious and you're underhanded and you are not you're not up to anything good. And if you're not up to anything good, you're going to go back to your natural instincts, which is to be on the defensive. So you start to record people so you can use it at some point. You only record people for that reason. There's no other reason that you record a conversation with somebody. Now, if Mr. McGregor could have used this time better by having a conversation of unity and inclusion and forgiveness, pardon me, and all of that with Lawrence, but he did not. He went on to talk about things which I don't believe is all the right things that him said. Him say what they put in mind and him say it. And he wasn't thinking about being recorded. But now it is out there in the public. And having not thought about it, it is damaging to him. I mean, not many people would agree or disagree with whatever. I don't know. People might split on what they agree and disagree with him on. But the fact that he allowed himself to be recorded is a matter of judgment. And this man, as a representative from Michael Manley's seat, does not have good judgment. For a police officer, he does not have good judgment. One day, a group of police drove down to Jerusalem, and then all of them stopped at my gate. One heap of them in a one Jeep, and one next like a car. And the whole of them stopped at my gate. And everybody stayed in them vehicle, and two came out. One came out and stood over there underneath the mango tree across the road, and the other one came towards the gate and called me. And him said, Scross. He knows me clearly, I don't know him, but him said, Miss Scross. I said, yes sir, how may I help you? And he called me at the gate, and he was on his phone doing some, trying to find some place. So this road here, so, and that road here, so. And it took me no more than 5 seconds to know that this is not what he came here for. To ask me where this road is and taking up my time and spinning the rope on him phone and doing the old Google thing and looking for a road and that road. It took me no more than 5 seconds to know that this is not what he came for, an old ton load of them, you know. So I said to him, officer, whatever it is you're going to do, well, I'm going to do it, man, and don't involve me night. All right? I have helped you as much as I can, and I do have something doing right now. I have a pot by the fire. I have to go deal with that. Do have a good day, sir. I walk left him because I knew what he was doing. And I was right. They came for a specific reason, to go check somebody specifically who sell nice smelling good weed, and them want to go tear the place, and them want to go take the man money, and them want to go do all of that. I realized it in 5 seconds, and I don't have police training. So for Mr. McGregor to misjudge Lawrence Rowe, the conversation that he misjudged, the reaching out, not understanding what exactly he's going to do, never thought about it, never planned anything in his mind, never come with a game plan. Him just come for chat, and then him just start chat some things off him head, which basically exposes what it is that him want to say, and him say it. And Lawrence recorded him, and it is now in blogosphere, and it is now once more. They should be talking about something else, but now them talking about that. Lawrence Rowe does not go into any settings, did not go into any settings with Dayton Campbell, Mark Golding, Peter Bunting, Angela Brownberg, individually or collectively, without his recorder on. Because he knew from the beginning, from the moment that they gave him the seat, and then the pedophiles start talk about him now gonna get the seat, and now gonna get it, him a placeholder and all of that. From the moment that he got wind of that, he never ever once have any conversation with anyone. It's not just them four, other people as well who he would assume are close to them. So that's it. That's extent of the skills of the man that they hired to undermine Imani Duncan Price and Crystal Tomlinson. and other people and to disrupt Central Kingston and send it into chaos and confusion in order for them to have their way. And they never knew the extent to which he would go to, protect himself, so to speak, or to make himself invincible, or to give himself some kind of leverage against all of you. So he very well might have damaging things that he might not do. We don't know. But I mean, those conversations might have been simple conversations that's not worth anybody's time. But he does have them. And if he decides to release any of them, I'm going to be timing it in how he does it. Which brings me to the final point is, why release this conversation with Steve McGregor? And I just have a few, it's just less than 24 hours that it has been out. So therefore, I don't have much time to analyze it, but in my first analysis, I would say that whatever that he has and whatever he intends to do, I'm going to start with Steve McGregor. Don't believe in Steve McGregor. That's who he's going to start with. And there might very well be more. I don't know. How long was the conversation between him? For you bloggers who talk to him, how long was the conversation going on between him and McGregor? What else did Do Not Believe in Steve McGregor said that he has not said yet, or has not released yet, or was that just it? Did they talk for just 2 minutes? What was the entire conversation about? Was there a part of the conversation that was unifying and coming together, kumbaya kind of thing? Was that part of the conversation? Was part of the conversation an apology? Or, well, I wouldn't believe so. That would have been released too. But I don't know. I don't know why this. And I don't think, in essence, that it helps Lawrence Rowe in any way, shape, or form. Unless him seriously still in that mode where him just seeking quick revenge. And this is how I'm going to go about it, getting revenge, because now Steve McGregor might not speak to him again, which would be a good thing, but I mean, Do Not Believe in Steve got caught with him trousers down for a senior police officer to be caught on tape. Just 1 week become a politician, and him couldn't use up any skills from him senior police officer training to help himself, and maybe he never have those training. I do not know, but it looked bad. It truly looked bad, and Lawrence, as usual, will have the last laugh. But in the end, it still doesn't help Lawrence Rowe, and we still don't know what exactly is Lawrence's end game. That's the next thing them don't know about him. He always have an end game. That's what I'm telling you. You better buckle up. Buckle up for this ride, because whatever opportunities that will present themselves, and the universe will present opportunities to him, because Don't Believe in Steve McGregor will trip up. Something will break, and the universe will intervene. I promise you that. So there will be more to come. I have no doubt in my mind. Thank you for listening to my rant. God bless you all. Stay safe, everybody, and do keep your children safe.